conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, good morning. Let me share my screen. Okay, so I'll give a small recap on what we have done yesterday. So first, as per the basics of accounting and as per the golden rules of accounting, we have posted general entries. So based on the general entries, we have identified what are all the ledgers that need to be created in the normal books of accounts, manual books of accounts, and manually we have created all the accounts, all the general ledger accounts, and after that we have created the trial balance, and after that we identified the nature of the particular JL account, whether it is a liability account or an asset account. After that, we have segregated it into P&L and balance sheet. All the nominal accounts, which is an expense or an income account, will be going to the balance sheet. Sorry, will be going to the profit and loss account. So after the profit and loss account, the balancing figure would be either a profit or a loss. So when if it is a profit, so it would be go to the reserves and surplus in the balance sheet, and not only the profit and loss account will be moved to the balance sheet, but also all the assets and liabilities. So we have prepared the balance sheet so far yesterday. After that, we have done the linkage of the manual books of accounts with the SAP. For example, we have taken XYZ Limited. For XYZ Limited, we have three company codes, which is three subsidiaries, and it has a so we'll be assigning these company codes to a chart of account. So after that, we have discussed like what is a chart of account. Chart of account is a list of JL accounts in the company. It contains the list of JL accounts in the company. So after that, we have mapped with the SAP. So in SAP, so first to create, so we have told that chart of accounts is a list of JL accounts, correct? So we'll be assigning these chart of accounts to we'll be assigning these chart of accounts to all the company codes. 1 minute. These chart of accounts to company code, and the same thing we do here also. So the chart of accounts would be the client level. I'll tell you like what is the client level and company code level. So let's summarize now like what we have discussed yesterday. So we'll be assigning the chart of accounts to the company code. So every company code is assigned to a chart of accounts now. So once the chart of accounts is assigned, what we'll be doing is we'll be creating the account groups. So account groups in the sense with our example, which is like the balance sheet accounts. So here we'll be showing in the balance sheet, right? So all the balance sheet accounts will be created as the account groups. Under these account groups, we'll be setting a proper number range where if we are creating a ledger, that should be created under a particular sub account group, particular account group. It means particular balance sheet item. Now, so when I'm creating a general ledger, so account groups can be balance sheet items or else profit and loss account items. In the sense, balance sheet items contains all the assets and liabilities, whereas P&L items contains all the direct expenses, indirect expenses, and direct incomes and indirect incomes. So based on this, when I'm creating a general ledger account, if it is an expense, if it is a direct expense or indirect expense, or if it is a direct income or indirect income, I'll be using the respective account groups to create the particular GL account. In our example, we have this many ledgers we have created in the manual books, so that in the same way we'll be creating into the SAP. So these are the numberings which we have given with alignment of the number range which we have created in the account groups. So after that, we have a BP concept where we have vendor and customer be defined, but the vendor and customer is a submodule which is integrated with the GL account based on the recon account. So when we are creating a particular vendor account, there we will be assigning a particular recon account, and that recon account will be transferred to the current assets or current liabilities, where a particular vendor or a customer is concerned. Now after that, we'll be posting the general entry. So the flow would be to post a general entry to post a general entry I need a ledger, correct? So if I have the ledgers created, then only I can post a general entry. Ledgers need to be created. So to post the general entry, a ledger need to be created. So to create the ledgers, I need account groups. So to create the ledger, what I need account groups. So now, so for all the account groups, the account groups are created at chart of accounts level. So if I want a report, consolidated report of a company code, I will assign this company code to chart of accounts. Company codes is assigned to chart of accounts, and after that we'll be creating the account groups. Account groups are created, sorry, it is chart of accounts, and so yeah. So what we'll do, we'll assign the company to a company code to chart of accounts, and after that we'll be creating the account groups under the chart of accounts. After that we'll be creating the ledgers under the account groups. After that we'll be posting the general entry. Okay. So now, yesterday we have taken one real-time example in the SAP system, and we have from the general entry we have derived till the balance sheet. So after that, so what is the difference between manual books of accounts and SAP? So business what and all, like in an accounting cycle. So in the manual books of accounts, what process will be done manually? So this business transaction will happen. Once the business transaction will happen, so general entry would be manually derived in the manual books of accounts, whereas in SAP, end user should record the transaction in SAP. Once the end user record the transaction, ledgers, trial balance, P&L and balance sheet are automatically prepared based on the configuration. But whereas in manual bookkeeping, you should do everything manually. So now in the today's class, let's discuss about enterprise structure and what is the baseline configuration we need to do for the particular entity. So what is baseline configuration? So baseline configuration is nothing but it is a minimum core setup required to make a SAP FICO system function. It is a setup to make SAP core system functional. Okay. So after that, let's take an example. Let's take an example to derive the enterprise structure. For example, I have same example as we have taken here. I have XYZ Limited. Okay. Let's derive the same example. I have XYZ Limited. So under the XYZ Limited, I have subsidiaries. Let's take so in the normal terminology, what we call it, and in SAP terminology, what we call it. I will explain you. So now, so this is our head office or a group company. Suppose say I have a company XYZ Limited. So I have derived my head office in USA. So my head office, my operations and everything will be happen from the USA. Okay. So now this is my head office. So I have subsidiaries or legal entities, which is registered under the particular Companies Act in the particular country. Suppose say I have XYZ IND Limited and XYZ US Limited, and let's take XYZ Europe Limited, EUR Limited. So now these, so let's take in FI what we call. So let's take the assignment of FI and CO. So what is the impact of the particular scenario in FI and CO? Okay. So now these subsidiaries are legal entities. We call in FI as a company codes. We call it as company codes. And so all these company codes. So these are the company codes we have. Okay. Now, so where the company codes are located? So what is the location? Location of the particular company code. So this XYZ Limited is located in India. After that, this is in USA. This is in Germany. Now, so what would be the financial year of the particular Indian company code? Anyone? So what is the normal financial year we will follow for Indian company code?
April to March.
Yeah, April to March. Now for the US,
Jan to December.
Mm, yeah, correct. So whereas for Germany also we follow the same. So now these fiscal years, these fiscal years, this financial year, which we are defining for a company code in FI terminology, it's called as fiscal year. Fiscal year, and we will define fiscal year variant, fiscal year variant in FI. And in the top level, in the top level in FI, we'll be doing chart of accounts. We'll be creating chart of accounts. Whereas controlling is concerned, we'll be creating controlling area, and we will be assigning all these company codes to a chart of accounts. Whereas to flow the data from the chart of accounts to controlling area from the respective GLs. So you have posted these GLs, right? So when I'm posting this GL, interest expense account data to bank account, this is related, something related to FI. So how it flows to CO? How it flows to CO? Through a cost object. Through a cost object. Cost object can be cost center, either a profit center or an internal order or anything, or a WBS element, anything as such. Okay. So now, so after the fiscal year, so let's see, uh, after the financial year, let's see what is your local currency. Local currency which is related to particular company, right? Related to particular company. So what is the local currency? In India, it's INR. In USA, it's US dollar. In Germany, it is euro. It's in EUR. Okay. Now, you have defined like what is the local currency we have identified. So see, this is like XYZ Limited came to Accenture, and XYZ Limited is telling that, boss, this is my business functionality. So how we will be fitting my business functionality in the SAP system? Okay. First, now I am explaining the XYZ Limited's business functionality, and I am explaining how we can link the business process of XYZ Limited in the FI, and whereas in the CO is concerned. Okay. Now, so in the class, in our demo class, I said like XYZ Limited will come to the implementation partner. Suppose say I am Accenture. So sorry, like here who will get the bidding? Someone who quoted less and someone who has more experience in the industry and who has a more success rate in the industry. Suppose even though TCS quoted me 2, I'll be going with Techem. So Techem, which is has a most success rate, and they are very good reputed in the market. And now where a Techem is concerned, now I am going to implement SAP to the XYZ Limited. Before going to implement SAP, I am going to a business process walkthrough meeting. So in the business process walkthrough meeting, I got all the business processes of XYZ Limited. Now I need to map, I need to understand the business process and understand the enterprise structure and understand the hierarchy of the XYZ Limited. Then I need to link the XYZ Limited business processes with my respective modules. So as of now, I am explaining you the FI and CO, but whereas you will have MMSD also. So they will also link that particular business process with their respective modules. So now if you see here we have a company codes, right? So the company codes, whereas is concerned, they'll be creating as a purchase organizations, and whereas SD is concerned, they'll be creating it as sales organization. Okay, so in our whereas FI is concerned, we'll be creating it as a company codes, but where is concerned and SD is concerned, their functionality is different with respect to their module specific. Now, so after that, the main thing for any organization with respect to the FICO is reporting, correct? So you are intended or bound to report your financials as per the general acceptable accounting principles or as international standards or such. For example, for the consolidation reporting, I am bound. So I am an XYZ Limited. My head office is in USA. So all my operations will be done from the United States of America. Now, so my location is in USA. So I am bound to report all the companies which I have under me with IFRS. And after that, so after the IFRS, so can you tell me some legal reporting requirements in India? So what and all can we have, what and all the acts or the legal, all the, or like what and all a company is bound to give the reports to whom apart from IFRS? So apart from international financial reporting standards, to whom I should also give the reporting as per the local requirements. So suppose I am in India, right? So in India, apart from IFRS, to whom I need to do the reporting?
India.
Okay, yeah, Indies. Indies. After that, any idea? Like after Indies, like is there anything where we can where that legal entity asks us to report in such a way?
Yeah.
India generally accepted accounting principles, Indian GAAP, and after that, maybe we have Income Tax Act, Indian Income Tax Act. So for this XYZ India Limited, we need to report in four accounting principles. Four accounting principles we need to report in. And now, so whereas for XYZ Limited, we need to report in IFRS and the local GAAP, which is US GAAP, and as per local income tax act, let's say US IT Act. Okay. So why we are creating these many reportings? So for example, IFRS allows you a particular expense, correct? So it's like some travel expense of employee. Now let's take an example. So we have a travel expense of an employee, or suppose take a legal example. It is depreciation of an asset. Depreciation of a furniture. If I want to depreciate a furniture, IFRS tells me to claim the depreciation only 10% of that particular furniture, but Ind AS allows me to claim 20%, but Indian GAAP asks me to only for 15%, but income tax tells me you can do 15% WDV on that asset. So to comply with these requirements, I should show my books of accounts separately, right? So IFRS, suppose say it's 10%, my income statement, my P&L statement and the balance sheet will get referred, correct? For example, the asset value here would be, so here let's take expenses and asset value. Okay, so suppose my asset value is 1 lakh. Asset value is 1 lakh. Here it's told to charge me only book 10%, correct? It's 10% is like 10,000. Here is 20%, 20,000. Here it's 15%, 15,000. Here also it's same. And my asset value differs from books to books now. If you see here it's 90,000. So asset value 1 lakh. So here it's 90,000 and here it is 80,000. I should show in my books. Here it's 85,000 I should show. And here I should say 85,000. So now as per the different accounting standards and accounting requirements, we should show our books separately so that we will use this accounting principles concept and we use non-leading and non-leading ledger concepts to meet this requirement. So this is an example. I'll be pasting it in the downside, so it should be helpful. Okay. So now leading and non-leading ledger. We 1 minute. So this is an example for reports. So for example, the reporting. So if as now you understand, so what is an example for reporting point of view? So why we'll be creating this many accounting principles, and what is the concept of this? The concept is nothing but one accounting principle as per their local gap, as per the Indian gap, as per the international reference standard. They will allow some expenses or allow some treatments, and they will so these allow some treatment, but IFRS rejects it. I don't want to do capitalization of particular thing, but Indian gap allows you to capitalize some assets. So that is the thing why we use these different gaps. So now IFRS, US gap and US and so it is also here we follow German gap and local income tax as per the local income tax act. So now, so to meet these requirements, to meet these requirements in FI, we have a concept called leading and non-leading ledgers, which we will be going through after defining the enterprise structure. So I'll be explaining you in detail what is a leading ledger, what is a non-leading ledger, what is an extension ledger. Under the extension ledger, we'll be going for a standard, how we do the GL adjustments. After that, simulation ledger. After that, production ledger. So I'll be explaining all these concepts. So maximum in the market, they'll be only explaining you leading and non-leading ledger, and they'll leave it. But no one touches the extension ledger concept. So I'll be also teaching the extension ledger concept. So you'll be up to the market standards. So yesterday I have taken one interview where the person has an experience of 20 plus years. So he don't know the concept of an extension ledger. Even he has a 20 plus years experience in the market, he don't have the knowledge of the extension ledger. So even though you have an experience like 20 plus years of experience, you are lacking the SAP concepts. So if you are lacking some concepts which are there in the SAP, you are outdated in the market, correct? So you should need to update yourself. You should need to update yourself every day to cop up with the market standards, or else even though you will take like hundreds of interviews, you will go and attend hundreds of interviews, but you won't clear anything because you are not up to the market standards. So you should be copying up with the market standards, so you will be impressing the interviewer and you should get the job. So this course is designed in a way like you will definitely crack the interview once you listen the concept. So if you are listening some concepts, try to write it out in your notes, like not just listening and I will be sharing this the notes to you, right? So you just make a notes and write it. So write everything what I am saying in your notes. So from today make it as a habit. So once I will explain any concept, I'll be freezing the screen for 2 to 3 minutes and you should write the notes. I will be not sharing you this particular Excel with you from now. You should write. So if you write that, so like you can memorize. So once you memorize, after that if you go to the SAP screen and you should do the practice. So practice is the main key thing in the SAP. So once if you don't do practice and you just listen the concepts, you will go nowhere. You should be familiar with SAP screens, and after that you should do the practicing. So every day if you tell you the concept, so practice it like 2 to 3 times, so that you will be understood and you will be memorized in your memory. So after that we have currencies. So what and all the currencies? So India XYZ Limited should show their financial statements in different currencies also. So now in different currencies, for example, I need to show. So we have a local currency, right? The transaction currency which we do is INR. It would be a company code currency. When you are creating a company code, I'll say like, boss, this company uses the INR, which is a company code currency, we call it as. Now the currencies, it should also show in the USD and UR and MYR, Malaysian dollar. So whereas US is concerned, it already shows in the USD. Now it should show in INR and EUR and MYR. So now, so Europe, so it's already has an Europe as a company code currency. Now it's bound to show in USD, INR and MYR. So XYZ Limited want to see every transaction which is happen in the particular company code with respect to the like irrespective of the location, it should show in this normal in these currencies. So next, after the currencies, so these currencies also we will be defining in the leading and non-leading ledger concepts, so that this will be aligned, so that the reporting requirement will be met. After the currencies, let's come to branches. So now in XYZ Limited has branches in their particular country. Suppose say in Andhra Pradesh I have one branch, and in Mumbai I have one branch, and in Chennai I have one branch, and in Pune I have one branch. So we have this many branches for Indian Limited. Same as for USA, I have in New York I have one branch. In Los Angeles I have one branch. In Chicago I have one branch. Now, whereas in Germany we have Berlin, we have Hamburg, we have Munich. Munich. Yeah. So these are the branches we have. For example, so these branches in SAP terminology, we'll be creating it as business area. Business area. But but where CO is concerned, I'll be creating this as profit centers. I'll be creating it as profit centers. After that, so I have branches. So under the branches, you may have also plans, correct? You may have also plans. So in AP branch, I have two plans. In AP, I have two plans. In Mumbai, I have two plans. So like that, suppose say in New York, plans in the sense, so in a particular branch, in AP, in Andhra Pradesh, you may have plans in you may have plans in Nellore, or else you may have plans in Srikakulam. So like that, you will have a plans which is a manufacturing entity located in a particular branch. So like that, if you have New York plant, Los Angeles plant, Chicago plant, Berlin plant, so you may have one plant in the particular respective cities. Now in this scenario, what I will be creating is branches as segments, and these particular plants as profit centers. So it's up to the business how they want the reports. So they want branch level reports, or else they want plant reports, because in FI in FI we can only show the reports. We can only show the reports. Only external reports we can show. So external reports in the sense all the expense. So we can show like for this company code. So what and all the expense, incomes, assets, liabilities you can show. But we can show a particular expense if a particular expense is related to a branch, or else a particular expense in that particular branch it is related to a particular plant, or else a profit is related to particular branch or a plant. That can be accomplished through CO, through the controlling. So by controlling we can accomplish these requirements. So in the branch level, I can make a segment. So for example, I'll be explaining you the hierarchy of the CO. First, you will have controlling area. Under the controlling area, so the top node is operating concern. So operating concern is nothing but, so you have the profitability analysis, right? For that profitability analysis, we will be defining the operating concern. Operating concern is nothing but it will show the profit and loss of the particular organization. It has the characteristics and it will map to the particular sales order or to the characteristics, and it will bring you the net profit or loss, over picture of the organizational standards. I'll be explaining you when we came to the CO topics. So after that, so controlling area. So under that controlling area, you will be creating. So you will be creating the controlling area. So after the controlling area, now this is an individual hierarchy. So you'll be defining segments, and when you create a profit center, you should assign a segment. Okay. Now after that, I'll be creating cost centers. When I am creating a particular cost center, I need to assign a profit center. Okay. So the cost center. Now let's see company code assignment. A cost center can be assigned to only single company code. But so just keep this in mind. We'll be discussing this in detail when we going to the CO topics. And a profit center, this is assignment 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 of hierarchy, and this is the company code. This is the company code assignment. So now am I recording the session? Okay. So cost center, where cost center is concerned, will be assigning only to a single company code. Multiple company code assignment for a cost center is not possible. Whereas profit center can be assigned across multiple company codes. Whereas segment is defined at the client level. So for example, I'm incurring a cost of a particular company code 1 and company code 2. So the cost incurred for a company code 1 is 200 and company code 2 is 200. So for this, I have cost center. I have mapped this to a particular cost center XYZ 001. After that, XYZ 001. So now can I assign XYZ 001, which is related to company code 1 cost center to company code 2 cost center? Anyone? Here I have said cost center should be assigned to a single company code, correct? So even if you assign the cost center related to company code 1 to company code 2, it will throw an error. Boss, this particular cost center is related to company code 1. Please assign a cost center which is related to company code 2. Suppose say this. Whereas for this cost center, I have a profit center PC001. PC001. Because profit center I can assign across the company codes. Whereas we have a segment SCG1. SCG1. So now the concept is suppose say PC001 PC001 has a profit of 300. Like take 3000. Okay. So we have done some sales. So sales is like a 3000. So in that sales we have assigned the profit center. From the profit center it has been showing 3000. Now in the company code 1 and company code 2 my cost is 400, correct? So these company code expenses will be flow from this cost center to profit center. So when I call this particular profit center, it will show me minus 200 and minus 200. So when I call this internal report profit center, I can see it is 2600. So I can see like this profit center. If I call this profit center, I can see in this profit center, for example, here what we have defined our profit center as, we have defined our profit center as plans. So if I see boss, what is the plan? So like what is the net impact of my plant? So is my plant is running in the profits or losses? So I have from the plant I have done the sales of 3000 and this is my cost. So the plant is in profit only. Like this you can analyze in the plant level or else in the segment level. If I call segment 1, if I call segment 1 which is a branch, so if I call this a branch, suppose, so you have PC001, suppose let's take PC002. I'll when I'm going to CO, I'll explain you in the real time, but now let's just take it as a example, as a glance. So PC002 also has some profit of 24,000. So it is a plan 2, second plan. So now these two plans are assigned to segment 1. When I call this segment, it will show you, boss, for the Andhra Pradesh plan, Andhra Pradesh, for the uh, Andhra Pradesh, you have, for the Andhra Pradesh state, you have two plans. So these two plans are rotated in Nellore and Srikakulam. So if I call this branch reporting, it will show like Nellore, for Nellore plant, I have a profit of this much, and for Srikakulam plant, I have a profit of this much, and total. So for your branch is running into, your branch is running with the profits. So I can get an overall view of whether my branch is running in the profits or losses, or else whether my particular plant is making is running into profits or losses. So that so that because of that internal reporting, now you can analyze and you can keep the focus more on the particular plant or particular region, and you can again drive this particular plant or region into profits, so that your entire company will drive into profits. So what is the normal goal of a particular company? Report profits, right? Okay. So after that, so what we have, so till now we have derived segments and we have derived as a profit centers. Now after that let's discuss. So okay, the plant, you are saying like we have a plant, so plants in a different cities. So now in that plants you will be incurring, we will have the departments, right? You will have the departments. So how you will be assessing this department's profit or loss? Department's profit or loss. For example, you have production department. Production department. So what my production department will do? Production department will production department will what the production department will do? They will be producing the raw materials and finished goods. So for that I need to pay them amount. So I may need to pay them the salary, or else here we have, so we will consume the materials and we will be doing the direct labor. We'll have the direct labor which is involved, and we have the factory overheads. Okay. So after that after the production department. So do you have any idea, so how many like what and all the departments we have other than the production department? So we have production department. After that,
Sales department.
yeah, correct. Sales department. Without sales department, I can't do my sales, right? I have produced the goods and I need to sell them. So I need a sales department. So for sales department also, I need to pay the sales commission, and I need to do the freight outward. I need to do the advertisement and promotions. I need to do the sales office expenses. So I have sales office expense, and I have I have freight. I also want to know like what and all the freight that I have. So for this particular sales department, what and all the freight we have, and so after that, what is the advertisement and promotions? Okay. So after this, after the sales department, what we have, we may have administration department. So what administration department will do? So administration department, we have accounts, who will record the our books of account. Accounts department we have, and like the accounts department sees the accounts of all the production and what is going in and what is going out. So everything they will be accounting it, and executive salaries. So we'll be paying executive salaries. So these are all the there are so many where administration department will look after. After we have R&D. R&D is the R&D is the heart of the particular company, because without R&D, without coping up with the current requirements, so no company will stand. So that when we come to the R&D we have product development team. So we have production development team, and we'll have the lab expenses for the experiments, and so we have prototype cost to develop the prototypes and see whether that is working fine or not. If it is working, it will be deploying to the marketing team. So marketing team will do the marketing for that. So for the marketing, we'll get the sales orders. So after we get the sales orders, we'll run the production. So after production, we'll be doing the selling. After that, we'll be getting the revenue. So that would be something. So after that, we have logistics. After that, we have main IT. We have information technology team. So we have like internal staff, right? Internal staff to support the software you are using to support SAP. Maybe so XYZ Limited. So after they have implemented SAP, they will hire some consultants. So it's a product based company. You have like a product based company and service based company. Product based and service based company. So in the product based company, they will directly hiring you to support their day-to-day business processes with in terms of SAP. So you need to, when they hire, they'll be giving you a good package, not like a service based company. So in the service based company, so what is service based company? Like Accenture, Deloitte. So they'll just hire you, and they will be putting you into the client projects. So suppose I have one product based company. So first the product based company will come to the Accenture and Deloitte, boss, I need the support from you. So please provide the support. Now they will hire consultants from outside, or else they will give the resources which are already there in their organization to the production company or any other company which is a company using SAP. So you have like this many companies out there. Now after this we have these departments, correct? So let's yeah, now assume we have the same departments in all over the company codes, across the company codes. So now okay, I'll be pasting it in the bottom so you can take it as an example. So this is an example of gap, and this is an example of cost object reporting, which is related to internal reporting. So here I want to add something. So where FI is concerned, we'll maintain the FI only for external reporting, and CO is used for internal reporting. In the sense, FI used for external reporting, in the sense I'll be creating the leading and non-leading ledgers, correct? So based on the accounting gap, I can do the external reporting to the all the legal entities where XYZ need to comply with. But CO is for internal reporting in the sense, so what is the profit for me in a particular branch? I can see with through the segments what is the profit with a particular plant, so I can see with the profit centers. Now so what is the cost incurred? I can book the profits using plans. So in the profit center I can directly book the sales order. Through the sales order, the profit flows to the particular profit center. But how the cost flows? The cost flows through cost center. So the cost flows through the cost center. So through the cost center, we can identify how much cost a particular department has been incurred. Correct. So what I will do is I will derive under the cost centers. So let me also now explain you what is a group. So I'll be creating profit center department as a cost center group, and this is also a cost center group, and this is also a cost center group, R&D and IT and IT. So I'll derive all this as a cost center group. Under this cost center group, I'll be deriving a subgroup. So this is my main group. Under this I can derive like 3 levels, like number of levels I can derive. So for the reporting purpose, so XYZ Limited came to me and they said like, if I am pulling this production, I want all the production department cost, so that they can see all the direct labor cost, right? So now under the production department, I'll be deriving company code 1, company code 2. So I'll be describing XYZ India Limited, XYZ US Limited, XYZ India Limited, XYZ US Limited, and XYZ XYZ India Limited, US Limited, and XYZ Europe Limited. So now under this companies, so you will be giving the direct labor. So now it's direct labor. You will be defining another direct labor here and another direct labor here. So now when I call this in the cost center reporting, so anyway we know like this would be cost center. So in the cost center reporting, when I call this product production department, I'll be getting all these direct labors, right? So that I can see what and all my direct labors are doing. So like what is my direct labor cost here? So whether it's a planned cost. So I have predicted that my direct labor cost will not go beyond some 100 lakh dollars, but it's already went beyond the 100 lakh dollars. So now how you will be taking the presumptions, whether you will be doing the cost cut and you will taking some labor outside and you will be giving some OT. So like that the business will derive based on this reporting. So far what we have discussed is like, so far to conclude, we have now designed a beautiful organization structure. So now we have designed an organization structure. So now let's in the tomorrow's class, let's see how we can fit this organization structure into SAP. How to fit this organization structure into SAP in the tomorrow's class. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining and have a good day. Bye.
Bye,
Thank you,
Manoj.
guys.